Okay, so we are on lesson number 274 of a workbook of A Course in Miracles. It's interesting because when I read this, we just had the Pope here in the United States, and of course, people. The truth of the matter is, the old man used to say, and Jesus says it in the Course in Miracles as well, I'm only here to open your mind. And who knows what it takes to open anyone's mind. So, I understand all the pomp and circumstances that occurs around the Pope and the ritual and the, and the whole establishment idea. However, the last two sentences of lesson 274 brings to mind the whole idea, brings to mind this past papal visit. And through this lesson, I understand what occurs when people meet the Pope. It's gotten, in a sense, it doesn't have anything to do with who the Pope is. It has everything to do with the meaning that we've given to the Pope and the attributes that we give to him as the Pontiff. It says, this is lesson 270, a special blessing comes to us today from him who is our Father. Give this day to him, and there will be no fear, because the day is given unto love. Now, this is an interesting idea that we get a special blessing today from our Father. And hence it reminds me of the Pope. And it really is true. And this is, in a sense, today belongs to love. Let me fear not. Let me read this and show you what I'm talking about. There's a particular line here that really sort of opens my heart and my mind, and there's and demonstrates what it is that is occurring. Okay, and okay, that's why. I don't know about you guys, but it is really incredible to know that available to me at any given moment, at any given time, from beyond space and time, is the Holy Spirit to give me an answer to questions that come into my mind that pertain to this awakening and transformation that we're going through. And I just sort of understood something as I was looking at this. Simply, this is exactly why. Here, let me read this. Father, today I would let all things be as you created them, and give your sons the honor due their sinlessness. Okay. It doesn't say anything about forgiving sins. It says to recognize. It just says we're going to give your sons the honor that are due to them in their sinlessness. And this is the section. This is the love of brother to his brother and his friend. Through this I am redeemed. Through this as well, the truth will enter where illusions were. Light will replace darkness, and your son will know he is as you created him. Now there's a whole process in that is just based on the recognition of love of a brother to his brother and his friend. And every single one of us, I would say there isn't a single one of us who hasn't had the experience of having a friend, having a brother, having a close associate, having a relative, a child, an uncle, an aunt, a cousin, who no matter what they do, all we see and experience is our love for them beyond anything that's happening to this world. And that within the world of space and time is absolutely unexplainable, because the world of space and time is based on reciprocity. The love of brother to his brother and his friend. Through this I am redeemed. Who is the I am that's being redeemed? It's the Christ in all of us that's being redeemed, and allowing, and through the love that we share with our brother, and the love that we share with our friend and our friends. The experience of not allowing the worldly, let's call it the worldly information that we seem to know about our friend and our brother come between us, simply because of a bond that we feel that is beyond our ability to make sense of in the world, simply because we are love and he is love, and in love we are joined as Christ, is the way in which the Christ is recognized within each of us. And each and every time, and this is in a sense what this is trying to say, each and every time we allow love to replace the illusion of the judgments we've laid upon ourselves and other personalities, friends and brothers, what happens is a little of the darkness that we were holding within us is replaced by light, and a little bit of the truth that we are love and our brother is that as well, and we are sinless and have never not been that. A little bit of that truth replaces the illusion of separation. And as we have these experiences, these moments of love for our brother, these moments of sharing love with friends and brothers, as we have these, the world recedes, and the truth of who we are as love begins to enter into our conscious awareness. And what we become aware of, we become responsible for. And as you come to know your brother and yourself as love, while you may not be able to justify it in space and time, for there is no need to justify love in heaven, it's our natural state. Every time we remember, we get a glimpse, let's call it, of the love that surpasses anything the world has to offer, and the remembrance of our reality that comes with that love. Does God give us a special blessing today? This is interesting because the word specialness has taken on a particular meaning within the Course in Miracles lexicon that is entirely different than the way it's being utilized here. So are there special blessings? You bet. Are they different from other blessings? It's funny when I talk about the idea of the love of brother to his brother and his friend. And that's what Jesus says. Ultimately, he wants us to call him friend. And through the love we experience in the willingness to allow ourselves to be comfortable calling him brother and friend, that which kept us separate from him seems to dissipate. And in the joining, the separation is healed. Where two or more are gathered, there I am. And this is very much an indication of the truth of Jesus' teaching from 2,000 years ago as well. And I could see as I watched the Pope and all the, in Manila, when the Pope showed up, they had 6 million people. And there was so much, the joy and the love and the excitement was over the top. There were nuns who, upon seeing the Pope, lost all sense of their own sensibility and rushed toward him just because of what he means to them in their mind. And would God deny a blessing to a sister of ours in the Philippines who begins to experience the love of brother to his brother and his friend in a moment of a frenzied crowd where the Pope is passing by? That situation is ripe for people, for our brothers and sisters, to free themselves from the repression that they insist is necessary to live in their daily life, to free themselves from the oppression and begin to express the love that's in their heart. Begin to demonstrate the love that they have beyond what's going on in the world, in recognition of the fact that we all are being created whole and perfect by God. And obviously what satisfies us more than anything is a moment where we share our life and our love and our light for no reason whatsoever other than something we let down our defenses long enough for the love that we are, the love that's buried deep, deep down below what we're conscious of. We allow the love that is buried to begin to rise up and express ourselves and express that love. And as we do that, because love is our function, we are what love is. And as we do that, of course, we would remember who we are, because our desire to be who we are begins to take precedence over the ego's mandate to defend ourselves against that which is in the world of space and time. And crazy things happen. A nun rushes toward the crowd. So exuberant, she begins to rip off her habit simply because, why? We're sinless. We're children of God. And everything here, bar none, is an effect of our decision to not be as God created us. And yet, the call to be as God created us, the call to be the love that we are, is so strong that in the midst of the frenzy and excitement and the joining with our brothers in order to give our brother his due, allows that love to rise up. And in the joy of the experience comes the lack of defense of ourselves against love. And we not only experience the love within ourselves, but we seek and find a way to share it and demonstrate it. But I like this. I like the idea Through this as well, the truth will enter. Through this as well. What does Jesus say in the Course? Devotion to a brother will never set you back. Devotion to a brother will never set you back in your awakening. Devotion to a brother will never set you back in the process of awakening that you've decided upon when we utilize these principles. Why? Because this book and our willingness to use it is a demonstration of our devotion to a brother not of this world, in whom we have seen ourselves, have come to like what we see and experience, want to share that life and that experience, and begin to do what previously in the world looked a little bit crazy, like love indiscriminately, give things away, protect everything you value by the act of giving it away rather than hoarding it. And in these moments, it's natural. That's the cool thing about it. In the moments when you free yourself from the constriction and the repression that you placed upon yourself in the world of space and time, the natural attributes of spirit rise up and begin to exhibit themselves and demonstrate themselves. Will you look foolish in the world? It's quite possible. St. Francis, throwing out all the goods that his father gave him, renouncing his inheritance, walking out of town naked, and going to rebuild a stone church in the middle of nowhere. Will you look crazy to the world? Perhaps. But will you understand that the reason why you look crazy to the world is because you are aligning and converging with that which is not of this world? And many are not ready yet. But through our demonstrations, that's what this is saying. But through our love of a brother to another brother and as his friend and friend, the Christ in us, when we join in love with our brother, resurrects. And we're renewed. And the light replaces the darkness that we used to hide who we were in. And the light replaces the darkness that we looked out of so as to not see our brother's reality. And your son will know he is as you created him. So today belongs to love. Let me not fear.